Well, thank you so much for jumping on. I appreciate all of you hopping on and taking the time out just to listen to what we had to say. My name is Dr. Kathy Kirkland. I'm a co-pastor here in Killeen, Texas, and I've been evangelizing for over 25 years. I have a family of five kids, five grandkids. And when I was first introduced to this Forex market, it was during the time that I really needed to change my circle, change my cycle because the recession was really taking full advantage. And I didn't know how to be recession proof at the time. I used to be a real estate agent, and then when the real estate market crashed, my whole world crashed right along with it. My 401k had went from like 50,000. I had worked from like age 19 to mid 40s, and only saved up $50,000, and that's not a lot for a family of seven. I had four kids in college and a 4-year-old, and a husband who did 25 years in the military, six deployments, and retired with a broke back just to get a half a check. I had lost all my rental properties that I had because my houses wasn't paid in full. When the recession hit, people, I couldn't fault them because they was downsizing to make sure that they could eat and still survive during the recession. So all those houses got foreclosed on, and the house that I'm currently staying in had a padlock on it. And I was hiding my car from the repo man, everything. But I was first introduced to it by Dr. Jewel Tinker, and she had called me and said that she had ran into some people like the Youngs, Timmer and Lawrence Young, and they were going to show us how to earn money while we learn, and that's basically copying and paste. So I went down and I met the owner of the company, Christopher Terry, and a few other people, Austin Ghazi, Christopher Derrick. I met Spieler and a few others. And they were telling me how they were making $100,000 a month and $100,000 a week in trading and $70,000 in a couple of days of trading. Now, past results do not guarantee future results, and trading foreign currency can be risky. So, and here I am, I have $40 to my name. I couldn't even afford to pay for a meal plan for my kids in college. It wasn't their fault that I didn't prepare for a recession. They got into college, but I couldn't afford to keep them in there. So I had them befriending people at Taco Bell and Cane's and restaurants and the hotels there just so that they could get body wash and stuff to bathe with and food to eat. And then even taught them how to have house parties and have people to bring food over. And the rule is everything stay there at the house and make sure they had enough to last them through the weekend. So when I was first introduced to it, I had $40. That's all I had. And when I got started in the market. I paid the membership fee, and I really didn't even have the $195. It was $195 to start at that time. And now we have this special going on until Monday, and it's $165 for you to get started. So what I did was I was like, okay, I'm a prayer warrior, so I just started praying. I was like, God, if this is real and this is what you want me to do, I need you to work this thing out. I can't take the last $200 in the bank and join this company and then go home and gotta face my husband. I still gotta be married, because we were struggling. And that day, Christopher Terry got on stage and said, anybody that wanted to join, you could join for $1. So I knew that was God, and couldn't nobody tell me otherwise. So I had joined the company for that dollar, and I had $40 set aside so I could put it in the market. And keep in mind, I did not know how to read the charts. Everything looked like Greek, Hebrew, and Chinese, all the above. And but I got on, but I didn't know how to copy and paste, and I didn't know how to hit buy and sell. Now keep in mind, I have 4 degrees. I have a associate's degree in theology, a bachelor's degree in business management, a master's degree in human resources, and a PhD in PhD in philosophy. And I don't work in none of them, not one. So I'm like, okay, God, I was like, I really need this to work. So I put that $40 in the market, and tell you what, I thought that was $40,000. I prayed over that money. I pleaded the blood of Jesus over it. I even prayed for the ones that was calling the signal. So now I didn't know how to compound my money. I took that $40, put it in the market. I knew that 10 pips would work. I didn't have the patience to wait. for 100 pips, or whatever they said it was going to be. So I got in, and as I collected 10 pips, I increased my lot size every time I went. Long story short, within 1 hour, my $40 balance in my broker's account was now $500. I started screaming and hollering, yes, I'm rich, I'm rich. And technically I was, because I hadn't had that much money in a long time. And so I remember Christopher Terry said he gets up in the middle of the night at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was so impressed, because I don't know of any other owner that does something like that. And so he was a multi-billionaire. So of course I'm going to follow him. And he said that the banks trade your money every night from midnight until 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And they made trillions of dollars off of your money. So I got up with him. I did whatever he said do, buy and sell. And this is why I get up today to do it. By 6 o'clock that morning, my $40 balance from 9 o'clock that night was now $1,000. And I remember when I came home and I was praying, and I was like, God, if this is real, because I came back talking to my broke friends who was in the same situation that I was in, and they were saying this was a scam. I didn't have time to be scammed again. So I began to pray, and I was like, God, if this is real, I need you to show me, tell me. I don't have time for this. I need to know how to be the head, not the tail. I need to know how to be the lender and not the borrower. And I'm sick and tired of going around in the same circle, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. They tell me that's insanity, and I just got tired of being crazy. So when I was praying, he told me Ecclesiastes 11:1. The Good News Translation states, it is good to enter into foreign trade, because you never know what bad luck this world is going to give you. And you need a minimum of 7 streams of income in order to survive. So now I know that I am in a man-made company with a God-written skill set. Win or lose, I am all in. So when I had that $1,000, when I made that $1,000, I took it and I divided it up into 7 different accounts, because the scripture says you need a minimum of 7 streams of income in order to survive. So I was like, God, how do I tell people about this opportunity that don't believe in the Bible, don't believe in you, and I don't want to offend anybody? So how do I tell them? And he just simply said, Google it. I Googled it and found out that Forex has been around since 4 AD. It has been profitable for 2015 years. It has never filed bankruptcy, never closed its doors, never missed a check, never laid anybody off, but is now a $6.9 trillion a day. That's right, a day industry. And surely you can get a couple $1,000s out of that market. So when I divided my accounts up into 7 different accounts, what I did was I labeled each one to, help me get out of foreclosure, get my car to repossession, to pay for this, pay for that. And so if I made $1,000 that day in one account, I made 1,000 in all 7 of them. So I did this in I started in April. This was about July when the money really started building up good. And by December 31st, the end of that year, my net worth was $1.3 million. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. If you can stop sharing your screen, Harvey, so I can share mine. What I did was, I'm going to show you exactly how I did. I got up with the team every single night. And this is what we did. I went from not knowing how to read the charts to being the #1 educator within the company, the first Black female in the company, second Black female in the company to trade, and have the #1 strategy within the company.